Thank you very much. Now the tax ombud is a new one in our tax law. We've never had a tax ombud in the history of this country. It is this new tax reform that is bringing a tax ombud. And the tax ombud simply means tax complaints commission. Tax complaints commission. Just like you have human rights commission, just like you have public complaints commission. So, but this time around is tax complaint commission. And the people that are supposed to complain are taxpayers. So the law anticipated, the government anticipated that some taxpayers may feel aggrieved and they will not know where to go. What would they do? They will write petition to the tax complaints commission. That's the tax ombud to say, I'm aggrieved. The tax authority is dealing with me in the manner I don't like. So what would the tax ombuds do when they get your petition? They will invite you and get every information. And also invite the tax authority they are dealing with and also get information from them. One of the principal things the tax ombud was set up to do is to see there's an amicable settlement between the taxpayers and the tax authority. So the tax ombud was set up for reconciliation and mediation. The tax ombud was set up primarily for mediation and reconciliation between the taxpayers and the tax authority. So when a taxpayer is aggrieved, remember, the person that's supposed to write petition is the taxpayer. It's not the tax authority. The tax authority has no business writing petition to the tax ombud. The creation of tax ombud made it that it's the taxpayer who feel aggrieved who write a petition against the tax authority, whether it's federal, whether it's state. So when you as a taxpayer feel aggrieved and write petition to the tax ombud will look at your petition, invite officials of the authority you have petitioned, and find a way to settle amicably between you and those officials. Where it cannot be settled, they know the next line of action. If you are at fault as a taxpayer, they'll tell you are at fault. Go and do what they're supposed to do as the taxpayer. If you are not at fault, they will tell the tax authority you are at fault. The taxpayer is right. And the law also provided that where the tax ombud discovered that the taxpayer is right and the tax authority don't want to back down, they have right to go to court to defend the taxpayer. That's exactly why tax ombuds. So tax ombuds was also given power to go to court and defend the taxpayer and ensure that the taxpayer is right. Just like you have tax justice. For those who don't have money, when they feel aggrieved, you go to tax justice will take over the case and go to the court and stand in for you. So that is why tax ombud was set up. It's a tax complaint commission where you report to them that you feel aggrieved to what the tax authority is doing, and they'll look at it. But remember that there's a local parlance that said that not the person who first call police, they win. So before you write a petition to tax ombud, be sure that you are in your right direction. You don't write things that if you get there and you can't defend them, and the tax authority will come there and win you. So I think I've been able to explain to you the concept of tax ombud. Is it clear?
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for that perspective. Aziz, okay, are you available to ask your question now?
Yes, I'm available. I hope I can be heard. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Please go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. Doctor, very insightful presentation. It just gives us this desire to just go ahead and still go through the law ourselves again to get more information. Just a clarification. Part of my question has been clarified by the previous person that asked question, Dr. Adetutu. So are you saying that by reason of this new Tax Administration Act, based on categorization, a small company will be a company with turnover of less than 50 million. Then above that, the medium, then above that, they will have the 200 billion, 20 billion. Just clarify on that, sir.
Yeah, based on categorization, if you look at section 56, because many Nigerians are finding it difficult to separate, draw a distinction between the 100 million and 50 million. But I made a clarification on that, and I circulated that clarification to so many platforms, and I'm sure people would have understood it by now. When we talk about 100 million, we are talking about VAT filing. It's very clear. Section 22, subsection 4. When we're talking about VAT filing, we're talking about businesses that have turnover of 100 million and below, not just company alone. Remember that it's not only a company that files VAT returns. Business names file VAT returns, partnership file VAT returns, companies limited by guarantee file VAT returns, every other business is not only company that file VAT return. So when we talk about 100 million turnover, it's all businesses that file VAT return, and you can see that in section 22, subsection 4. But when we talk about CIT, so I try to let people to draw a distinction between VAT and CIT. When we talk about CIT rate, section 56 of the Nigerian Tax Act made it explicit. And anything I'm saying from the law, we cannot quote anything outside the law. I know there are so many things flying all over the place, but I normally tell people, go back to the law and look at what is in the law. I hope it's clear. Thank you.
Very well. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doctor, for your perspective. Mr. Nojim Agbolade, kindly unmute and ask your question. Nojim Agbolade. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. And good afternoon, Dr. Uwodu. And I thank the Amuodofin district for doing this webinar so that every member can participate and benefit. But my question is on what are the allowable relief company can benefit in this new tax law that they can use for their CIT and their PITA that they will use to as a relief allowance for them, so that their tax liability can, the opportunity they can use to reduce their tax liability. Then also I would like Doctor to educate us more on the new tax law, the area of for companies that they are into servicing, how they can use the VAT inputs to reduce their output in the new tax law. Those are my two questions.
Okay, thank you very much. The relief has been there, and the relief was not removed. The relief we are enjoying, the relief companies are enjoying under CITA, under company income tax, as we are currently practicing, is same relief companies we enjoy when we start implementing this new tax law when we enter next year. But there's a little difference. The difference now is that in the new tax law, they say that if you make an expense that is VATable, not be an allowable expense. So please note it down. And that is where we're going to have problem next year. That's where we're going to have problem next year. Let me repeat it again. If you have an expense that is supposed to suffer VAT, and that expense does not suffer VAT, that if you claim that expense, it will not be allowed. Myself feel it's an injustice for taxpayers, but that is what is in the law. Possibly in the future, we can look for the amendment of that particular law. Let me give you an example. I'm your auditor. You're supposed to pay me an audit fee of 1 million naira. And I did not charge VAT when I'm giving you invoice for that audit fee. And you pay me 1 million. I did not charge you VAT. The law is not saying that you cannot claim 1 million as an audit fee expense because I did not charge VAT on it. That's number one. Then number two, capital allowance. The law is also saying if you have an asset, you purchase an asset, claim capital allowance on that asset. Meaning that you can even buy an asset of 1 billion. You can't claim capital allowance because when you are buying that asset, VAT was not charged on it. So this is a little distinction we can draw from the reliefs companies are getting right now and what they are going to get next year. So we now begin to campaign to tell our taxpayers, to tell tax consultants, we need to campaign and tell business owners to ensure that expenses they are making, VAT is collected on them for those that VAT are supposed to be charged on. And that the assets they are purchasing, VAT is also collected on them. Otherwise, we will not claim that relief. The new law has made it so. We are going to be at the mercy of the revenue authorities. So that is the question number one. Then number two, you are asking how those in services are going to claim input VAT. Of course, if you are in services, your input VAT should be what you have suffered. It's easy to have input VAT when it is goods and services. For example, you purchase raw materials after finishing goods, after you use it to finish goods, you now sell it. The process of purchasing raw materials, you can suffer VAT, that is input VAT. So when you sell your goods and collect the output VAT, you can now reduce that output VAT you are supposed to pay to government with the input VAT you have suffered when you are purchasing those things. But it depends on the nature of services your company is into. So many companies are into services that it's difficult for them to claim input VAT. And moreover, you can't come to the revenue authority to say, I'm claiming input VAT. You must bring evidence of the VAT you suffered as an input VAT before they can grant it to you as an input VAT. So when you say companies into services like what? You need to mention the type of services the company or the individuals will be, so that we'll now know whether the services you engage will have an input VAT claim in cost of your services. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Doctor, for your insight on that as well. Yusuf or Lalekon, you can unmute to ask your question.
Good afternoon, professional colleagues. Thank you very much, Doctor. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to grant or award you professorship now because of this engagement. Thank you so much. I have two questions, sir. One is both of them are actually related to this VAT thing. The first one is I understand there is withholding VAT, and by so they are compelling the buyer who has bought something and they have not charged VAT on it, and you are saying that he should self-charge himself and remit to you. Now, I was wondering, that should have been the responsibility of the seller. I don't know what rationale is behind this particular circular. The second one, still related to the VAT, as the earlier person asked, is if, for instance, the expenses that we are talking about that they have not charged a VAT on it, and as a result of that, they said they cannot claim what's it called? Should the expenses have a particular category, or is it for all? Take the case of NGO, for instance. NGO, they all think that probably they are not liable to tax in some area apart from the SITA. But now it is clear that they are liable for so many other things. Please, I just need a clarification concerning this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Yeah, when we talk about withholding VAT, just pay attention now. When we talk about withholding VAT, it is exclusively for government agencies, oil companies, telecommunication companies, and all those big companies the government has appointed to collect VAT. I don't know whether you understand me. When we talk about withholding VAT, if you do job in government agency has a responsibility to withhold the VAT and remit. So if you are dealing with somebody that doesn't have the status of withholding VAT, you have to self-charge. And self-charge is stipulated in section 14, subsection 4 of the Value Added Tax Act currently. So it is good we understand this thing, because sometimes we don't understand the nitty-gritty and technicalities involved in our tax laws. When we talk about withholding VAT only applies to those agencies of government, big companies, oil companies that have been mandated to withhold that VAT when they are dealing with you. They are the only people that have the power to withhold VAT. If it's me and you that is doing business, none of us has the power of withholding VAT. What we can do at that point, if each and every one of us couldn't deduct that VAT or add that VAT, we self-charge. And self-charge has been there. If you read Value Added Tax Act, section 14, subsection 4, you can see how self-charge was enshrined. However, the good news is that the new tax law has eliminated surcharge. The new tax law has eliminated surcharge. But what they did in the new tax law now is you are not doing surcharge, but if any expenses you are undertaking and supposed to have VAT, if VAT is not on it, you lose that expense. So for me, I would have preferred surcharge than losing my entire expenses. I hope that one is clear. Then on the vatable expenses, it's not all expenses that are vatable. It's not all expenses that are vatable. For instance, if you look at the administrative expenses of a company, you can see medical bills. Medical bills are not vatable. You can see food is not vatable. There are some transactions that are not vatable. So those transactions that are not vatable, the revenue authority does not expect that VAT should be charged on them. The law says where VAT is not charged on expenses that is vatable, where VAT is not charged on expenses that are not vatable. So if you are dealing with an NGO and you make payment, you're not supposed to VAT the NGO. So you have to make your transaction very clear. In that regard, that expenses will be allowed, because dealing with NGO means such expenses is not vatable. Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope you understood what I said.
Yeah, it's well gotten, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for that. We still have about 12 more minutes, 18 more minutes to wrap up your session. Elizabeth Usifo.
Usifo,
okay.
Elizabeth Usifo.
Elizabeth Usifo, please unmute and ask
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, all.
Thank you very much
for the insight and enlightenment. My questions, so I have some questions, but I think they have been answered earlier, but there's this one hanging, and it's really regarding the e-invoicing. I want to know how, the new law, how companies can embrace this e-invoicing and what it regards, what's it relating to the law? And then that's one. Secondly, I want to know for companies, how can companies, in as much as we don't support tax evasion, I want to know how companies through this new law can help reduce, this new law can help, how we can embrace loopholes so that we can reduce liabilities for companies and still follow the law. Thank you. Those are my questions.
Okay, e-invoicing is part of that physicalization we are talking about. In Nigeria now, there's a threshold FIRS is looking at. I think they're looking at 100 billion. From 100 billion, the companies that are selling up to 100 billion in a year, from there they are coming down to 10 billion and all that. So the e-invoicing, the objective of e-invoicing is to monitor the transactions of companies. Once you register under the e-invoicing platform, once you are issuing receipt to your customer, it hits that platform. It links you to that customer. It links to the revenue authority what you are doing, how much you have transacted, the debt will be there. For example, remember that one of the ideas of e-invoicing is to stop forging receipts. Right now, during tax audit and investigation, or even during some of the exercises carried by FIRS, it's observed that some receipts are forged. If you say that, you purchased something 5 years ago, it's possible to go and get a receipt and write 5 years ago on that receipt. But that will not happen under e-invoicing because it's online, it's real time. So once a transaction has taken place, it has taken place. For example, let me give you an example. If an asset was purchased earlier in the year and VAT was not collected on it, e-invoicings will report to FIRS that VAT was not collected on that asset. And that means FIRS is already on the tune that this transaction has taken place and VAT was not collected on it. Unlike now, if VAT is not collected on receipt, FIRS will not know. You can even get that receipt and beg the person who issued that receipt to add that VAT has been collected. You can issue a new receipt and say VAT has been collected currently. But when we go into full invoicing, that cannot happen. As far as that transaction has taken place, it has hit the quarters of FIRS, it has hit the quarters of your client, you have a copy. Whatever that was not done is permanent, it can't be changed. So that is why e-invoicing is real time, is online, and it shows the real transactions of that company. It monitors the company's transaction. It shows how much the company is supposed to have paid in VAT and other taxes. And at the end of the day, it becomes more reliable for the revenue authority to link on it to assess any company than waiting for you now to start giving your own invoice on your books and record. So this is exactly what e-invoicing is supposed to achieve. Then on terms of loopholes, I'll tell you there's no loopholes in tax law. There's no loopholes. What you need to do is simple: tax planning and management. Start early to plan your taxes, and your planning should also start with registration of your organization. Registration of your organization. You want to go into business. Do you want to register a business name, or do you want to register a limited liability company? Or do you want to register a company limited by guarantee, depending on what you are doing? You know, I was telling somebody the other day, there were 10 of them, and they went to register a company for agricultural business. And I asked them, why did you go for registering a company for agricultural? He said, because they won't pay tax. I said, that's not true. Agricultural businesses pay tax. The only thing they don't pay is VAT. If you register into agricultural business, you don't pay VAT, but you pay company income tax when your company makes profit. So they say, okay, what can they do not to pay tax? I say, have you people talk about opening a cooperative society, farmers cooperative society? And they looked at me. At the end of the day, they gathered and registered a farmers cooperative society, and they're operating. So nobody will collect any tax from cooperative society. So that's when you talk about tax planning. Tax planning starts from the day you register your business. So when you are registering your business, are you going to cooperative society? Are you going to NGO? Are you going to business name? Are you going to limited liability company? Are you going to company limited by guarantee? Today, some people are running schools with limited liability companies. Some are running schools with business name. Of course, the tax planning will be different, because those who are running school with company will pay company income tax. Those who are running schools with business name will pay personal income tax. So you have to do a proper analysis before you go into business and know the type of business you want to register. Right now, if you want to register a limited liability company to do a business, you can do that. It is more profitable next year. The law has made it that if you go into agricultural business from next year as a limited liability company, you have no tax to pay for the next 5 years. That's what the new law says. If you register a company now to go into agricultural activity, fishery, farming, piggery, poultry, animal husbandry, forestry, the law says from next year you register a new company to go into this business, you will not pay any tax for the next 5 years. So it is advantage Nigerians should key on and move in and take advantage of these things. But if you go and register a business name for it, of course you're going to pay personal income tax because it's not a company. So your tax planning should start from business registration. And when you finish that business registration, you need to get a tax advisor if you don't have to sit behind you to advise you on observing transaction taxes, advise you on planning how to file earlier to avoid penalties, avoid paying taxes late to avoid penalties. And when you observe these things, you can say things will be moving smoothly for you. So there is no shortcut. What you need is tax planning and effective tax management. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Doctor, for your insight. I'm going to take the last three hands. I'll take those questions together because we have less than 10 minutes for Doctor's session to be over, and I wouldn't want any of the questions not to be attended to. So, Doctor, permit me to attend to all the three, and then you can then respond to them.
Yeah.
Okay. Adekunle Alimi, you can ask your question now. Please, let's be brief so that we can get the best from the doctor. Adekunle Alimi, ask your question. I guess you have issues with your device. Baba Bada Temitayo, can you unmute and ask your question?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bada Temitayo. Just a quick one. My question borders around that e-invoicing. And the question is this, sir. I've seen all the discussions around e-invoicing, but none of them has addressed the integrity of, information that will be exposed, because now companies' information had to go through government portal for processing and the likes, just so that they can have a hand-on information on some of our transactions so that they can charge the right taxes on it. But none is speaking to the protection of those information. Is it not susceptible to hacking and the likes? And with the company information that are not meant to be exposed to public domain be getting exposed due to this introduction of this invoicing. Thank you.
Okay, I want to. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So let me just get the other two. Adekunle Alimi, is your device working now? Okay. Adetutu Akinbon, you can ask your question.
I'm sorry, sir. Actually, I think I raised that hand in error. I'm okay. Thank you.
Okay. So for the last time, Adekunle Alimi, can you ask your question? Sorry, Mr. Yusuf, we can't take the question now. Okay, I guess Mr. Adekunle keeps muting himself back. Let me give Mr. Okay, Doctor, you can respond to the question while we round up your sessions.
Okay, thank you very much. The last person is bothered about the exposure of companies' transaction because of the invoicing. But yeah, so what I want to let him know that when we talk about e-invoicing is the automated exchange of invoices in a structured, machine-read able data format between the supplier and the buyer, which replaces the traditional paper invoicing. This process enables automatic processing of invoices by the recipient accounting system, improving efficiency, accuracy, and security. In Nigeria, the Federal Inland Revenue is mandated to put up invoicing on all VAT-registered businesses, starting by the large taxpayers through this process. Now, I want to let you know is that I don't think there is any transaction you want to do that you say that is exposing the company. There's no transaction you do other e-invoicing that will be a classified information, unless you want to tell us that the transactions any company is doing is a classified information. The e-invoicing is only giving three parties information, three parties: the buyer, the seller, and the FIRS. E-invoicing is only exposing the transaction to three parties: the buyer, the seller, and FIRS. And FIRS have rights to demand for any document from you. If you say e-invoicing is going to expose you to FIRS, that means if FIRS ordinarily asks you to bring your documents, you will say, no, you're not going to bring your documents. But if FIRS will say, bring your documents and all the documents we needed, and you are ready to bring all your documents, so you shouldn't be worried that your transactions are being exposed to FIRS. Mind you, whenever FIRS is on you for audit or investigation, whatever document they want you to bring out, you're going to bring it out. So e-invoicing is not trying to bring a problem for the integrity of the transaction of the company or integrity on the transactions document. E-invoicing is trying to make sure that three people have that document, because no other person will have access to that document except the buyer, the seller, and the revenue authority. And these are the three parties that are supposed to share transaction on e-invoicing in a particular e-invoicing platform. So FIRS have right to demand for any document. So any document they will come and demand, it's also nothing wrong for them to have the transaction running on their system. So this is what I'm going to say. I don't think a company would like to engage in a transaction that will be so secretive that they wouldn't like FIRS to know. Any transaction you are doing today that you are doing genuine business, FRS can have preview of that document. And 150 invoicing, I don't think the integrity of your documents will be violated. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Doctor, for that perspective. And one thing I like about this session is the amount of time you left for question and answer has actually turned it into a practical session where more people are getting more context into the theories that we've been used to. Mr. Adekunle Alimi, okay, let me give you the last opportunity. Let's see if you can't, you can unmute now and ask your question. And if your audio is still not audible, I will advise you pen your question in the chat room. Can you speak? You've unmuted. Let's see if we can hear you now. Okay, so I guess it has to do with either your network or your device. You can, ask your question in the chat room, and during the question and answer session, we'll be able to use the opportunity to present the question to the doctor. Doctor, once again, thanks for the insights, the context, the perspective, and your presentation. I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Everyone that have listened to you will more or less be looking forward to the next session where they can engage you. You can.
Thank you so much.
Sharing your screen. You can still hold on for us until after the second presenter's presentation. So that if we don't have much question for him, there's still lots of questions in the chat room that are addressed to you. If we can attend within those time, we will. If not, we will compile them together and send them to you. And once you respond, we will share with our audience. But thanks.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We're now going to the second presentation. Which is going to, as for our agenda, we have our second paper presenter, Mr. Muhyiddin Agbola. He will be presenting a paper on emotional intelligence. He has 30 minutes for this slot. And while he's preparing his presentation, I would like to read his profile to us. So, Mr. Muhyiddin, I hope you are ready. Mr. Muhyiddin, you are a co-host, so you should be able to unmute and then start sharing your screen. Mr. Muhyiddin Agbola, can you hear me? Mr. Muhyiddin Agbola, please confirm you can hear me. Okay, you have unmuted, Mr. Muhyiddin. Can you confirm you can share your screen? Can you speak so that at least let's test? Okay, yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, you can start. Okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. So start preparing your slides while I read your profile to the audience. Mr. Muhyiddin will be presenting on the topic emotional intelligence and empathy. Is a result-driven financial reporting and analysis professional with over 13 years experience. He currently heads the budget division at the University Finance Department, where he previously steered multiple divisions with distinction. He voluntarily guides startup founders with financial reviews, advice, social mentoring young adults in critical skills aligning with the United Nations Sustainable Goal 8, which is decent work and economic environment. He holds a BSc and Masters in accounting complemented with certifications from ICANN, affiliate membership with Chartered Institute of Public Finance and Accountancy in UK, FMD and VIDA from Corporate Finance Institute. And when he's not mastering financial records or shaping generation, he invites with the family. Members, I present to you Dr. Mr. Agbola Muideen Analiko. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear me? Can somebody confirm
yes,
that you can hear me?
We can hear you. We can see
Welcome
your...
again to this. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, but not yet in presentation mode.
Okay.
Or is this want to go about it?
Let me see another one.
Mr. Adekunle Alimi, I've seen your question. You can lower your hand. We'll read it during the question and answer session. If you want to go in this format, I mean, you are free to go, Mr. Adela. We can't see your screen again.
I want to share it in 2 modes. Let me.
Okay. You have 30 minutes for your presentation.
Okay.
We should be rounding up your session by 1:32 my time.
Okay. Let me share it again. Can you see my screen now? Can somebody confirm?
Yeah, we can see it. Now it's in presentation mode, so you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much. You are welcome to this part. Emotional intelligence, that is AI. So a must for professionals, and to present by me. The contents of this presentation will include introduction, definition of intelligence, and emergent emotional intelligence, pillars of emotional intelligence, why emotional intelligence is important, how to develop and control emotional intelligence, okay, reflection and case studies on the emotional intelligence, and we will look at takeaway and closing words. Introduction. Let me ask you if you have heard about, have you ever met someone who seems to stay calm no matter what happens? Whatever you say to him, he remains calm. Or someone who always knows just what to say to motivate others. Now, have you also met someone who's brilliant, very intelligent, but he struggles to work well with others because they cannot manage their emotions? I believe we have met such people maybe once in our life. The difference between these two scenarios is that one has an emotional intelligence, that is the one that remains calm, the one that will relate with others quietly and motivate others. The difference between the two people is that it's not an IQ. Both have the IQ. They have intelligence quotient. They are fairly intelligent. But something appears that makes them deeper and deeper, which is emotional intelligence. Let me start by giving you a short story about the elevator incident. What happened? One Monday morning, a young professional runs into an office elevator already full of people. As the doors were closing, someone accidentally stepped on his shoe. He turned sharply and shouted, Can you watch where you are going? Everyone went silent. When they reached the 10th floor, the man realized that the person he yelled at was actually the managing director. Can see what happened? Emotional intelligence. He smiled awkwardly and mocked. Good morning, sir. When he realized his mistake, what he had done, that he done is to his oga, his boss. He now smiled awkwardly and mocked and said, Good morning, sir. The MD looked at him and calmly said, Good morning, young man. I hope your day gets better. I hope your day gets better. If we can see from this scenario that calm, grateful response of the managing director is because of his emotional intelligence in action. The MD did not let anger or ego take over what the young man has done to him. He rather managed emotional with awareness and empathy. A lesson for everyone. Maybe we have met somebody that did something to us. We answer angrily, or in the place of work, we cause harm because of our reaction. But if you look at this managing director, the way he handled this young boy or young man, as the case may be, you can see that being a managing director, he practicalized what we can call a professional emotional intelligence in his acts. Instead of abusing him, shouting at him, the two of them will now become the same. You say, Good morning, young man. I hope your day gets better. You can see that the young man will now become ashamed with what he said. By this, what is emotional intelligence itself? Let me define that. Emotional intelligence, according to the psychologist Daniel Goleman, is to recognize the ability to recognize and to understand and manage our own emotions. The ability to recognize, understand, and manage our emotions, as well as to recognize, understand, and influence the emotions of others. That is the simple definition the psychologists give to emotional intelligence. In simpler terms, it is being smart with your feelings. Not let your emotion control you, but use them to guide your thoughts and action wisely. Don't allow your emotion to now guide you, to now control you or overpower you, but instead, use it and let you are the one to control your emotion. Use them wisely so that you can say. It also refers to as emotional coaching. You can get it in some places, they call it emotional coaching. It's a very, very important thing, a professional, a place of work, even at our home, anywhere we find ourselves, to manage that environment very well, we need emotional intelligence. From this, we can deduce that emotional intelligence means be aware of what you are feeling and why are you feeling so. What you are feeling currently, and be aware why are you feeling so. Then Also, it's not only that, be able to manage those feelings, especially in a very tough situation. When one gets angry, you get angry and you are facing somebody, you are within one environment that is not, you are not happy with what is going on. Managing that feeling, that time, is what we want to learn from this emotional intelligence. So also understand how others feel. It's not only you. You have to understand others, how they feel. Because this managing director, he understands the small boy that he was being smashed on leg with his shoe. He was very angry, but he shouted. The man remained quiet because he understands him. When they now at the 10th floor, he now realized what he did. So also he didn't complain. He answered him quietly. That is the work of emotional intelligence in action. So it also means using all that awareness to build better relationships and make wiser decisions. It is being smart with our emotions, not ruled by them. Let's be smart with our emotions. Don't let be ruled or controlled by our emotions. We have 5 pillars of emotion, emotional intelligence. We have self-awareness. We have self-reporting or self-regulation. We have empathy as part of the pillar of emotional intelligence. Then we have motivation. Then we have social skill. Let's dive into them one after the other. Self-awareness. This is the beginning of what we call emotional intelligence. To practice this, you first of all understand ourselves. It means being conscious of your emotions and how they affect your performance, behavior, and interaction. This is the ability to recognize your moods and emotions. Understand why you feel them and see how they influence your thoughts and action. I hope you can hear me. Somebody can hear me there. Can you confirm that you can hear what I'm saying, please? Can you hear me? Hello? So that I don't want to be talking to myself. Can you hear me, please?
We can still hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. So you might realize that you are becoming irritated before a meeting because of a stressful moment. Self-awareness helps you acknowledge that feeling rather than let it control your tone and attitude. So you should understand at a particular time which mood are you by studying yourself. We are going to tell more about that. Tip: keep an emotional journal. That is, to note the situations that trigger your frustration, make you have joy or fear. When you are keeping notes, and study this by keeping journal, emotional journal, this will assist you. You begin to see the pattern of yourself in terms of self-awareness. Why is it so matter, this self-awareness? People with high self-awareness, what can you see in them? They make better decisions under pressure. Communicate clearly because they know their values and emotions. They handle criticism better. They inspire trust and confidence in others. Then they also learn and grow faster because they are open to feedback. They are they are studying what people are saying about them. Not only they are studying their thinking. It's not that they are studying what is happening to them alone. They're also aware of what is going on in their surrounding, what is happening into their relative, friends, co-workers, in the place of offices or at home. And they take that one into cognizance and they control their emotions towards achieving the goal. But if we look at those without self-awareness, their characteristics is that you will see them blame others when things go wrong. They will say, you can see what you cause. I think maybe we have our boss like that. Somebody that we always blame. We have different boss that always, some of us, maybe we met somebody, it's our boss or it's our guy in the office. You see the way he's talking to us. Blame others when things go wrong. You can see that what is lacking, the problem is that they are not understanding their self-awareness. They overreact emotionally. You can see because of somebody did something wrong to you, it's so worst that in some places of work, where it is very wrong to fight, so people will slap somebody because it's overreaction. That is overreaction because of this emotion. They fail to see how their actions affect others. That is the problem. They are not concerned, they are just selfishness. Instead of the self-awareness, they are selfishness. They are not worried. They are not worried what is happening around them to others. People without self-awareness often repeat mistakes because they never reflect. They are not sit down and see what they have done even wrong, and reflect on it, and find a way to fine-tune it so that that thing will not repeat itself. But they keep on to repeat the same mistake all over. The psychologists divided self-awareness into two. We have internal, we have external awareness. We have internal, then we have external. This is how clearly the internal one is. This is how you understand yourself, your emotion, your friends, your values, your goals, and impact on others. Very important. Impact on others. As I said earlier, it's not only self-awareness doesn't mean your selfishness. You have to know about yourself alone. You have to know your reaction on others. It answers questions like, what am I feeling right now? Why do I feel this way? What are my strengths and blind spots? What are my guiding values? People with strong internal awareness act intentionally, not impulsively. A manager noticed that, as for example, a manager noticed that team feedback makes her defensive. Instead of arguing, she pauses and says, I realize I'm feeling defensive because I care about doing things right. That recognition turns emotion into insight. He has seen himself or herself because of the way it was. We still talk about level. What are we going to do in the next slide? Let's quickly look at the external self-awareness. This is understanding how others perceive you, not only yourself. The way others perceive you is very important. In the place of work, at home, in an organization, in a society, you need to understand how others perceive you. It's about seeing yourself through others' eyes. This includes your communication style, emotional tone, and impact on the team. This will answer, how do people feel when I speak? Do I come across as supportive or judgmental? Do my words and tone align with my intention? You can give an example on that. A teacher may think C is being firm, but as students may perceive her as harsh, as somebody that is very harsh on them. Become externally self-awareness help her adjust to while maintaining authority. We move to the second pillar of emotional intelligence, which is self-regulation or self-reporting. This is about ability to control your emotional impulses. This time, you are expected to pause and think before you act. That is the main keyword. At that moment, you are expected to pause. When you got angry or you are emotional, that time before you take action, you need to rest, pause small, rest. If you are standing up that time, you can sit down and give some minutes, pause, think before act. Emotional intelligence is not requesting you to suppress your feeling. But what it's saying is, how are you going to manage your feeling? What is actually teaching us is how to manage our feeling. When you are hungry, take a break instead of reacting instantly. During a heated conversation, instead of snapping back, you could say, let's take a moment. I would like to understand your point clearly. By saying that, you cool down, the other person will also remain calm. That support can change the entire tone of the discussion. Practice responding instead of reacting. A 10 seconds pause can save relationship. The third part is motivation. Emotional intelligence also includes internal motivation. The drive to pursue goals with energy and persistence, even without external rewards. People with high emotional intelligence are inspired by purpose, not just paychecks. They review challenges as opportunities, not as obstacles. They view challenges as opportunities, but not as obstacles. Whenever they face challenges, they took the opportunity, they use it as opportunity by finding the better way out from there. They will not see it as obstacle that they will run back and become failed. When a project fails, a motivated person asks, what can I learn from this? Instead of who is to blame. As I said at the beginning of the presentation, without emotional intelligence, you will be looking for somebody to blame. Why do you cause this one? Where are the causes? But for people with high emotional intelligence, what can I learn? You will be looking for a way. What can I learn from this? Keep your wife visible. This gives you emotional intelligence. The fourth part is empathy. Empathy is understanding how others feel and showing that understand in your action. We are going to, the next 3 slides, going to talk on this empathy. It is not pity, it's not a pity, it is connection. Empathy help leaders support their team members more effectively. When someone is struggling, empathetic leaders notice and respond with understanding. This will create psychological safety where people feel heard and valued. It also reduces tension and builds stronger cooperation. When a team member misses a deadline, empathy helps you ask, are you okay? You are not just going to shout on him. I gave you an assignment. You didn't meet the deadline. You know, we have different votes. I say you should submit this one this time around. You didn't. But person with empathy or with emotional intelligence, he asks you, are you okay? You want to know the condition first to find out what happened before you assume laziness. Maybe it's lazy. Sometimes compassion solves what criticism cannot. Compassion will solve many problems that criticism may not be able to solve. That is why we have to be very careful in dealing with people. To be a leader, we have to coordinate among our followers, among our subordinates. If we are saying this one is not good, we throw it away. This one is not good, we throw it away. This one is not good, we throw it away. Who will remain with us to achieve our goal? That is what emotional intelligence is teaching us. By listening to understand, not to reply, you will be surprised how people open up when they feel hurt. When you are ready to listen to people, you are not condemning them. You will hear many stories. They will tell you many things that they cannot even tell somebody that's closer to them. Signs of empathy. To know that whether you have empathy or not, let's look at the sign. If you are good at listening to what others have to say, I say thank you. You have empathy. You are a listener. You are not just attack person. You are not attack people. You listen to them before you say. You listen to what they are saying. People often tell you about their problems. Means you have that. If they can open up and tell you their problems, it means it's a sign that there is empathy built in you. You are good at picking up on how other people are feeling. You often think about how other people feel. Other people come to you for advice. You often feel overwhelmed by tragic events. You try to help others who are suffering. Those are the signs that you have that empathy in you. You are good at telling when people aren't being honest. You sometimes feel drained or overwhelmed in a situation. You are deeply about other people. You care deeply. You care very well. You take good care about others. You are not just on your own. You are caring. If they know you are caring for them, they will move closer to you. That is one of the signs of empathy. You find it difficult to set boundaries in your relationship. To cut with people, you are not comfortable with it. So that is why it's a sign of empathy. We now have 3 types of empathy, which is affective empathy. This one involves ability to understand another person's and respond appropriately. The people in your environment, you have known them, you study them, and you move closer to them. You know by looking at them, you know the emotion of the people, and you understand them. Such emotional understanding may lead to someone feeling concerned for another person's well-being. So it means you concern for them. You concern for them. Or it may lead to a feeling of personal distress. We also have the second type, which is somatic empathy. This one goes deeper. It involves having a physical reaction in response to what someone else is experiencing. Somebody, maybe something happened to your friends or to your colleague at work. You are also feel unhappy because of what happened to him is very bad. Your friend is not happy. You also feel with him you are not happy. That means that is what they call somatic empathy. What is affecting your friend is also affecting you. People sometimes physically express what another person is feeling. When you see someone feeling embarrassed, for example, you might start to blush. Your face frown. You are not happy, or you have an upset stomach. Some people are like that. If something happened, they are not happy with it, they will feel somehow because of the feeling for their colleagues, for their friends, for their spouse, for their children, and so on and so forth. The third level of the empathy is cognitive empathy, which involves being able to understand another person's mental state. This one is not even when physical something happened to them. When you study them, you see their reaction and the way they behave. You will now start deducing what is happening psychologically to them, what they might be thinking in response to the situation. This is related to what psychologists refer to as the theory of mind or thinking about what other people are thinking. If you see somebody and is in need of food, he didn't ask you. He didn't ask you, but from your psychologically, you know that this one is hungry. Then you now find a way that this is the problem, and you solve that problem. You solve that problem for it without even meeting you for it. That is the main. That is what they call cognitive empathy. So we move to the fifth one, which is social skills. This is very, very important. Social skills. It's about building strong relationships by communicating clearly, resolving conflicts, and inspiring others. A leader with a great social skills can calm tension, encourage collaboration, and foster trust. So in the place of our work, with our colleague, we can relate with them. This one is talking of relationship with other people that we are in the same environment. Even high pressure to read people in the even foster trust. You foster trust on them, even in high pressure situations. When you are pressed, you still try to give people relief, move closer to them. You make them that you make them relevant in the society. That is what the social skills means. Small gestures like remembering names, just remember the name, calling people by the names they like, saying thank you to people that do something for you, smiling during conversations. Some people will be very proud. If you have your boss that is never smiling, that is very difficult. That is trouble. If your guy all the time, it's not good for a professional. To be frank always. To be frank always. We move closer to people, smile. So Why is this emotional intelligence matters? That is where we are going. Because of time, I can see that. So the study shows that emotional quotient or emotional intelligence accounts for the 80% of success in leadership and teamwork. At this point, we thank the ICANN Amuwodofi and District Society in collaboration with one team, club, educational committee, for organizing this for us. That is why it is important for all the professions. To be successful in the place of work, you have to incorporate emotional intelligence in your life, because it improves communication and teamwork. Can communicate freely and teamwork be easier. The conflict and stress will reduce where you see emotional intelligence in practice. It enhances decision-making process by thinking with both logic and empathy. It increases trust and respect among colleagues. It builds resilience, very important, resilience. That is the ability to bounce back after setbacks. Let's put it simply. Intelligence quotient, which we call IQ, that is our brain, our DA charter, all the knowledge we have, get you hired. Experience will get you hired. They will get you based on your experience, based on your professional qualification. But emotional quotient or emotional intelligence gets you promoted. Let's know that. How can we develop or control our emotional intelligence? Simply, let's do one. We practice mindfulness. Spend 5 minutes a day observing your thoughts without judging them. This one will increase your awareness and calmness. As for feedback, invite trusted friends or colleagues to tell you how they perceive your reactions. This is very important. This is very important. Even to have our profile, maybe on LinkedIn or on Facebook, listing. Let them assess you, because the way you see yourself it may not be the way they see you. And the way they see you will teach you a lesson, how you be in the environment. Learn to apologize. A sincere apology does not show weakness. It shows maturity. Say, please, I apologize. Manage stress positively. Engage in deep breathing, short walks, music if possible, or prayer to release tension before it builds up. Number 5, we communicate with empathy, as we discussed earlier. Before relying on any tense situation, ask, how will my words make this person feel? Think of what you are saying. Don't just let's say it. If you say a word now, you may forget. But if it's a bad word, the person you offend will not forget. Celebrate others. Recognize the achievements of others. Rejoice with others. Enjoy with others. Either big or small. Emotional validation motivates people. Keep growing. That is the last one. Emotional intelligence is a journey. The more you practice awareness and empathy, the more natural it becomes. More case study. I want to end it with this case study of the taxi driver. I once met a taxi driver who amazed me. During the ride, another car caught him sharply. and nearly caused an accident. He was on his own side on the road, but another car just caught him sharply and nearly caused an accident. To my surprise, I expected him to shout or chase after the car that is causing problem. But instead, he turned with it, he smiled. The taxi driver smiled and said, "That is what I call the garbage truck theory." Garbage truck theory. Some people are full of frustration, anger, and disappointment. If you let them drop it on you, you will carry it all the day. If the taxi driver, because God has already saved them from that accident, but instead of shouting at that, he just ignore him and go his way. Because that car that crossed him is like a garbage truck. Garbage truck. Garbage truck is a truck that carry all this dirty. But instead of put it on him, he just dodge it and find his way. That is how we should behave as a professional. So if you let them dump it on you, you will carry it all day. So I just smiled and wait. I thought, this man has never read Daniel Goldman, but he is a master of emotional intelligence, as we can see. As you can see. Points to take home. Emotional intelligence is not a theory. It is everyday wisdom in action. Let me add another one. The coffee spill catastrophe. Then Alex is running late for a big presentation at work. As they rush into the office, they accidentally bump into Jordan. Causing Jordan's coffee to spill all over their sats. Jordan gasped and looking down at the mess. Alex apologizes quickly and hurries away to set up for the presentation. Because he's in a hurry, he now spilled the coffee over the set of Jordan, but he apologized. Jordan crossed their arms, clearly upset. The question for discussion, how do you think Jordan is feeling? You can put your answer in the chat box. If you are Jordan, how will you react? That is the lesson from emotional intelligence. If you are the Jordan, how will you have reacted? If you are the Jordan, how will you react? What caused Alex? What could Alex have done differently apart from apologizing? What are some ways Jordan could handle their frustration constructively? These are the practical aspects of emotional intelligence. Because he just rushed and apologized, Alex did part of his own. Alex, instead of now receive that anger, if you want to preserve that one maturely, it just be calm down and just let it go like that. How could emotional intelligence improve in this situation? By allow it to go, develop yourself. Self-reflection activities. Let us now see, how do we reflect? Let's pause. Every one of us that listen, let us pause and reflect. Ask yourself, how do I usually respond when criticized? Look at yourself. Look at yourself. If not, because of time, I'll just give us some minutes to do that, but the time is already not in our Do I listen more or talk more in difficult situations? As we said, it's better we listen more, not to talk more. Do I often take time to understand others' feelings before judging? The normal way is to let people understand what people feel before you judge. Emotional intelligence starts with the honest reflection. Application in real life, in the workplace, improves the emotional intelligence improves teamwork, as we said earlier, and leadership. In our family, it reduces conflict and builds understanding. To the customer, it turns angry clients into loyal ones. If you have clients, if it's angry, by using your emotional intelligence, if you turn them to loyal ones, so that you are not losing customer. In your personal growth, it helps you handle stress, failure, and success gracefully. The takeaway, the power with us. Emotional intelligence is not about ignoring emotions. It's just about mastering them and manage them. It is not about being nice all the time. It's about being wise with how we express feelings and treat others. When you control your emotion, you control your outcome. If you see your emotion is controlled very well, your outcome will be huge. It will surprise. When you understand others, you influence them positively. And when you lead with empathy, you leave a legacy. Whether at work, home, or in our community. Remember this quote by Mayer and Gilby. People may forget what you said. They may forget what you said. They may forget what you did. But they will never forget how you made them feel. Always remember, for how we made others feel calm, respected, and valued. In conclusion, emotional intelligence is the language of the heart, translated into wise action. It separates reaction from reflection, chaos from calm, and utility from harmony. I will close with this reminder. The smartest person in the room is not the one who knows it all, but the one who knows how to make everyone feel valued. You are valued. So as you live today, ask yourself, when life bumps me, what spill out? Thank you for listening. If there's any question, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gola, for that wonderful presentation. Even though our times are fast spent, I decided to allow you to run through the full course of your presentation, because this is an important skill that you require as an accountant to manage the various threats that we face, either as a career accountant, where we have our month-end, year-end, or as practitioners, where we have the various stakeholders to deal with. I believe this soft skill is extremely important for us. That's one of the reasons why I did not interrupt you and allow this to, eat into our question and answer session time. It's a good thing. People will probably more or less learn more. And if there are questions relating to this, I believe we can curate them and send them to you. So you'll probably be able to provide, further context or further responses to those questions. Thank you once again for that powerful an insightful session. And members, I believe we can show our love. I saw some emojis earlier, but I believe we can give him another round of applause to appreciate his work. Our time is fast spent, and we don't want to keep people here longer than necessary. We committed to, ending the session at 2, and we want to more like keep to that time as well. Like I mentioned, I allowed our last presenter to eat into the question and answer session. So if any of us have questions relating to him, we might not be able to take those questions now, but you can pen them down either in the chat room. You can equally, share it uh, uh, via email. The email that gave you this um, login details. Send your questions through there. We'll probably be able to curate them. There are other questions relating to Dr. Dr. Kennedy earlier. We are going to create that since we don't have much time to accommodate that. So this is now time for our closing remarks. I will call on Mr. Nnamdi Ojeisi to come on board and give his closing remarks, and at the same time appreciating our presenters. Mr. Nnamdi, are you on board?
Yes.
I can't see that.
Yes, I'm on this call.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
so you can go ahead with
and I want to thank especially. Can you hear me? Please, can you confirm that you can hear me, please?
Yes, I'm confirming I can hear you. We can see your video as well.
Thank you so much to the chairman, ICANN AMUO and Disease Society, and the entire members of ICANN AMUO and Disease Society for working closely with One Team Social Club to bring this to all of us. Also, a very special thank you to the presenters. Both of the presenters have done justice to the topics given to them to deliver. And I can tell you for free that I had so many takeaways at my end. And I'm looking forward to even seeing more, because I got so many takeaways from both the actual paper presentation process and the question and answer session. I'm really refreshed and energized to face the new tax regime. So I'm sure we also did the same elsewhere. Now, well, just let me take a few minutes to tell you about One Team Social Club. One Team Social Club is a social club for ICANN members, qualified ICANN members. And we are just coming together to see how we can assist ourselves on the social level. So in the health, welfare, training, socials, empowerment of members, creating opportunities here and there for members. So if you feel like joining, feel free to send us a mail, oneteamsocialclub@gmail.com, or you can respond to the email that will supply the materials to you. Also, note that we already have a platform where members can also purchase items, working tools like laptops, mobile phones, and the likes, printers, to do your business. And you stagger payments over 6 months. Over 6 months or so. So that is under Dongo Nigeria. So you feel free to also send a mail if you're interested in that. And note that you can also be a member of this ICANN team that is making all these things come to reality. So when you get the mail or you intend to join, you can send a mail and they'll expose many more things to you. So it is only when we put together our resources and our heads, ideas, that's when we can make a difference in our life. Also, we thank the members representing ICANN right here. I saw one, Mrs. Scholastica. She's from ICANN. She's here to observe as well. Thank you so much. And God bless everyone that have made this event an eventful one. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Moderator.
Sir, Mr. Mabuchi, for that comforting words, most appreciated. And the information on the one social I'm trying to share my screen. Yeah, thanks for the Wanting Social Club partnership with ICANN Amua and District Society. I can bet you with the number of participants still on the call, it shows members are, happy, with the sessions and the insights they've gained from the training as well. And want to believe the partnership will continue into the near future to bring important technical upskilling to members as well. We'll now be calling on the district. So as we, bring this session to a close, I believe our time has been, more than well spent with the quality of the presentation that came to us and what members have left with. As I mentioned, we apologize that we couldn't take additional questions after the second paper presentation, who are allowed to overrun on his own timing because of the, the importance of the soft skill presentation he was making. So whatever questions we have, let's send it to the email handle that send us the meeting link. We will curate it, share it with the presenter, and once we get their response, we'll share it with you. For all registered and paid participants, this is MCPD credit our webinar. So immediately this is concluded, you all will be credited with your 5 MCPD credit hours, towards increasing the credit hours to the institute. And we will now call on the district technical secretary. Equally, the recording and the slides that were shared that were presented during this presentation will be shared with all participants as well via the email once the session ends. So the rest are sort of that. We now call on the district technical secretary, the person of Alaji Balogo Isiaka, who, in addition to giving us the closing prayers, would provide details as it relates to ICANN Amuwo programs and time of meetings. Mr. Balogun? Okay, sorry, you can unmute now, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the participation. Yeah, it's very raining heavily here in my office here. We thank you for joining us for the program. We appreciate you all. We thank all our presenters, our everyday scholars. We thank them for being here with us. For subsequent, we still promise you to come out with a laudable webinar subsequently. And for our district is open to more members home and abroad. We're open to you. So thank you everybody for joining us. Where I am, the background is not too good. So thank you everybody. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you all our presenter, all my committee, kudos to everybody, the One Team family. I thank you all my technical team. I thank you all. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. See you.
Thank you, Alaji Balogun. And with that, I think we have come to the end of today's technical session. we'll be rounding up the session with the ICANN anthem and the national anthem. This will now be followed by our national anthem. Yeah, thank you, everyone. That is it from ICANN Amowo and District Society in collaboration with the One Team Social Club of Nigeria. And I'm your humble moderator for this session. My name is Michael Alatushe. See you all at another time. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, all.
Bye. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Alatushe, FCA. We really appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. See you on the next edition. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Can we take a screen picture?
Bye, everyone. Good to have
Can
you.
we take a screen picture?
See you at the next webinar in December. God willing. Thank you.
Thank you, our chairman. We appreciate you, sir. More power to your elbow.
My IPC.
I remain loyal, sir.
How are you doing?
Always. Thank you very much, my chairman. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Well done, all of you. Well done. Thank you.